Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of All Around the Platinum, the show where we platinum games. We talk about how it was to platinum that game, the journey that we went on for it, the enjoyment of it, and if it was difficult and what the hardest trophy was. Basically, we just were nerds here. So yes, in the last episode we of course talked about Chicken Police. In this episode we are going to be talking about Goosebumps the game. A nifty little title that was on PlayStation Plus and Extra. That, quite frankly, wasn't the worst thing that I've ever played, but it also wasn't the best thing that I've ever played either, which we can talk about in a moment. But before we do that, let's get into a little bit of information about the game for you guys. So, Goosebumps, the game, is an adventure game for the 3DS based on the popular book series of the same name. It acts as a prequel to the movie that came out around the same time as the game. The game was released on the 13th of October in 2015. However, the game is no longer just for 3DS. It's now on Switch, PS4, PS5, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and of course the Xbox Series, and Microsoft Windows. It's an adventure game, a puzzle video game, a casual game, and an adventure game. It was published by Game Mill Entertainment, and the developers were Way Forward. So yeah, not too shabby. On the next thing, let's talk about the stats. Let's talk about the stats for the games off of PSN profiles, of course. So the 26,387 game owners, 14,439, which is 54.72%, hold the platinum, and of course hold the 100% for the game as well. Slightly over half, of course. The game's difficulty rating on PSN profiles is rated a 2 out of 10 difficulty, will take one playthrough, and average about 4 hours. Of course, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And yeah, I didn't really enjoy this game, I'll be completely honest. I had a pretty crappy time playing this game. I didn't enjoy it. The game kept glitching on me. I kept having a litany of problems. Some of the trophies even glitched as well, which was incredibly frustrating, especially when it came to, trying to get certain trophies sorted and trying to get ones done in a certain amount of time so that I could get through the game quick. I also wasn't feeling well when I played this game too. And it was infuriating, I'm not going to lie. It was a really unfun game to play, and it was the first game that I had played during this challenge where I honestly thought, if a lot of the games are going to be like this, I don't think I'm even going to get close to that 30 platinums. But this game in particular, yeah, it was garbage. It was a garbage fire from the start. So, yeah, there you have it. The game is actually made up of 41 trophies in total, including the platinum as well. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time. Not a huge amount of time, but a little bit of time to get all those trophies. And yeah, so before we get into the enjoyment and the difficulty and the hardest trophy, in my opinion, of the game, I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy all of the trophies popping for this game, at least all the ones I have anyway. Okay, guys, so now we have seen all 41 of those trophies pop. I wasn't sure if I actually had all the footage for those, but I did. So there's all 41 trophies. Let's get into my enjoyment, the difficulty, and the hardest trophy of them all. So, my enjoyment of this game, I'm not going to lie, guys, it was a 3 out of 10. It was a really low one. I did not enjoy this game. It was boring. It was dull. Don't get me wrong, there was a nice few, I do remember saying that there was a couple of few references here and there to either the books or the TV show from the past and things, and it's always cool when you're playing something, whether it be a game or you're watching a TV show or a film or something, and there's a lot of references to the source material that you enjoy. They do bring a little bit of happiness and a little bit of nostalgia with it as well. However, when you are only experiencing those bit of nostalgia for a couple of seconds and then I suddenly remembered what I was playing, and yeah, it's not a good game. It is a very quick and easy platinum, but it's not a good game in like the overall arching scheme of things. I would never go back and play this game willingly, put it that way. The difficulty that I gave this was a 2 out of 10. However, I would like to just say that I did use a guide for this game, so obviously it is going to be a lot easier for me as I'm following a guide. I would also recommend people follow a guide for this if you want to get the platinum, just because there are a few little tiny things that can screw up the entire run, especially for the trophy that we are going to be talking about in a moment. And there are very specific areas you want to save as well, to save yourself having to replay through the entire game like I had to, because a trophy glitched. Yeah, the difficulty for me was a 2 out of 10. The only reason I gave it a 2 out of 10 was because of the glitched trophies. That adds into the enjoyment as well. The fact that the game's trophies kept glitching on me. Again, when I rate the enjoyment, when I rate the difficulty of these games, it isn't just about the game itself, it's about the trophies. It's about the journey of getting every single trophy to obtain the platinum for the game. And yeah, it was infuriating at times. I had to play through this entire game multiple times because the game just kept glitching. It would not give me the trophy, even though I had successfully done it on stream as well. Very, very frustrating process, but it has been sorted, and I've obviously got it now, thank goodness. As for the hardest trophy anyway, so I'm not just babbling on, how I learned to fly. Finished the game in under 175 turns. Again, not super difficult, but if you're not using a guide, it is going to take you not only a few attempts, but probably a lot more than a few. It can be incredibly infuriating, especially if you accidentally click on something that you weren't meant to, or you went to click on something and for whatever reason the cursor didn't pick it up, but it still counts the move. Like, there are so many litany problems with this game that, yeah, it's incredibly infuriating, but I would absolutely say the hardest trophy in this entire game is how I learned to fly. And there we have it, guys. Goosebumps the game. It's awful. I strongly recommend people stay away from this game. I can see it being like a mobile game, and that is it. Honestly, playing it on console was atrocious. The controls suck. The game is not fun. It's not engaging. It's not gripping. The story is complete garbage in it. And quite frankly, they could have done so much more with this. Instead of just dropping a few references here and there to, Easter eggs to the books, or references here and there to the films, or, the TV show, like, actually make an effort and make a decent game out of it, maybe, But yeah, no, they chose not to do that. And in my opinion, it's probably one of the worst games that I've ever played. And that's saying something. Consider the fact that I have done shovelware galore on this channel, because obviously every fifth trophy or every fifth platinum we talk about is normally a shovelware game, except when I did the 30 platinums. I tried not to do that, and I didn't, because I just thought, what's the point? But yeah, definitely a game that I would not recommend to anyone, and probably to steer clear from as far as you can for as long as you can. And there we have it, guys. That is the end of this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it and had a good time watching and listening. Again, guys, thank you very much for your patience with this. I am slowly getting through the backlog of games that I need to make videos on. Like I said, with my setup and everything being done now, hopefully a lot more games and things will be done a lot quicker. So yeah, thank you to everyone for your patience. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of All Around the Platinum, and I will catch you guys in the next episode of All Around the Platinum, where we are... I need to remind myself because it's been a little while. Okay, the next game is actually a surprisingly enjoyable one that I played. So yeah, I'll be seeing you in that one.